What's up, Flatland? Cody here, your youth pastor. I'm excited this morning to bring to you the word. We're going to be opening Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 20. So before we get into that, here I am. We're about to read. I got to be honest, I am tired. It is early. It's about 5 in the morning. I had to get up early this morning in order to make sure I got some time with the Lord. So, I wanted to encourage you guys with that. No matter what you have to do, figure out how to make God part of your day. Even if that means you got to wake up really early one morning just so that you can do that, do it. My thinking behind that has always been, if I sacrifice just a little bit, to have a little bit less sleep, God's going to make sure that I have the energy to do what I need to do today anyways, especially if I use this time to spend with Him. And I also notice that it's the mornings that I really push myself to get in the Word and to spend some time with God, that I will come across something new and God will really speak to me, almost kind of like He's rewarding me for being faithful. It's not all the time, but I do notice that there are quite a few times that when I make it priority, to read the Word, God rewards that. So here I am this morning, ready to read with you guys and see what we can find here, see what God can teach us. So Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 20, and I'm going to go ahead and start reading. They came to the other side of the sea, to the country of the Gerasenes, and when Jesus had stepped out of the boat, immediately, there we see that word immediately again, there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit. He lived among the tombs, and no one could bind him anymore, not even with a chain, for he had often been bound with shackles and chains, but he wrenched the chains apart, and he broke the shackles in pieces. No one had the strength to subdue him. Night and day among the tombs and on the mountains, he was always crying out and cutting himself with stones. And when he saw Jesus from afar, he ran and fell down before him. And crying out with a loud voice, he said, "What have you to do with me, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? I adjure you by God, do not torment me." For he was saying to him, "Come out of the man, you unclean spirit." And Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" He replied, "My name is Legion, for we are many." And he begged him earnestly to send them out of the country. Now a great herd of pigs was feeding there on the hillside, and they begged him, saying, "Send us to the big pigs, let us enter them." So he gave them permission, and the unclean spirits came out and entered the pigs, and the herd, numbered about 2,000, rushed down the steep bank into the sea and drowned in the sea. The herdsmen fled and told it to the city and in the country, and people came to see what it was that had happened. And they came to Jesus and saw the demon-possessed man, the one who had the legion, sitting there, clothed, and in his right mind, and they were afraid. And those who had seen it described to them what had happened to the demon-possessed man and to the pigs. And they began to beg Jesus to depart from their region. As he was getting into the boat, the man who had been possessed with demons begged him that he might be with him. And he did not permit him, but said to him, "Go home to your friends, and tell them how much the Lord has done for you, and how he has had mercy on you." And he went away and began to proclaim in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and everyone marveled. So in this passage here, we see Jesus, he's probably entering in another city, I believe. Is that how it started? Yeah, so he's entering into this new city. And like we've learned before, whenever Jesus goes into a new city, immediately he's met by people. So in this case, immediately he was met by this man who is demon-possessed, who is not in his right mind. He's probably actually naked. He was super strong. He had so much strength from these demons that no one could bind him. No one could hold him. Not even chains could hold this guy. He had so much strength. They would find him just always crying out, probably making crazy noises. He was cutting himself. So this guy was just not in his right mind. And when Jesus comes across to him, I noticed a couple things that were interesting. First of all, Jesus heals the man. He casts the demon out so that the man is free from the demons. But we see the demon, talking back to Jesus, crying out to him, like, "What do you want? What do you want with me, Jesus?" He basically tells Jesus not to torture him. It's almost as if, and I think they do, the demons know who this person is. They know who Jesus is, and they're afraid of him and what he can do. And they were so scared of Jesus that they just asked, just allow us to go into these pigs over here on the hillside. And so Jesus does that. He sends them into these pigs, and these pigs run off down the hill, and they end up actually drowning. And then the herdsmen, who own these pigs, see this, and they're amazed by it, and they run out and they tell everybody in the city. What I find the most interesting about this passage, though, is how it ends. Jesus in the past has been telling people, "Hey, I don't tell people what I've done for you." But something has changed. Something is beginning to change here. We see that Jesus actually says, let's see. He says, "Go home to your friends and tell them how much the Lord has done for you." And this is what he's saying to the man that was demon-possessed. He says, "Go home to your friends and tell him how much the Lord has done for you, how he has had mercy on you." And so what I want us to do today for our Bible study and just our time with God is a little bit different. I actually tried this yesterday. It was something new that I tried. After I read the passage, I wrote down a section in my binder that said questions, just big. I put questions, and I'd put a number 1, my first question. I'd write down the verse, just the number, and then I'd write what my question was. I'd write all my questions down about this passage. I want you to go through this passage and think of any questions that you can come up with that just don't make sense right away. There are questions, so find some. Don't just say, "I don't have any questions," and move on. Find some questions. For example, when I read this, I'm going to think a couple things. Why were, the demons afraid of Jesus? Why were they afraid Jesus was going to torture them? That's one question. Another question I have is, why is Jesus now telling these people to go tell everyone about what he has done? That's another question I have. And then the next thing I want you to do is just seek out those answers. So now, once you've written down all your questions on one side, or on the first half of your page, the second half of your page, I want you to title Answers. And I want you to try to seek out those answers today. Just spend a little bit of time. You may not even finish today getting those answers. That's okay. What I want you to do, though, is just spend some time with God so you can try to figure out what those answers may be. Whether that's asking a leader, commenting below and talking to us here at FSM612, or just reading through your Bible to come to answers. That's honestly where we should be getting our answers anyways. So enjoy the reading today. I look forward to talking to you guys about it. I hope you guys have a great day today, and we will see you guys tomorrow. See ya.